Fish on! All right, let's see what we got. That is little baby. Oh, we got a tuna. We got a tuna. Woo-hoo! Oh, so tasty.
Bon appétit.
Bon appétit.
De sauce soja, un peu de lime et des amis. Et tout ça pour un excellent caille-caille.
If all progress teaches us anything, it is that man, in his quest for knowledge and progress, is determined and cannot be deterred. And now, a mysterious force is loose somewhere upon the sea. And the mysteries of creation are there. And the moon and the planets are there. And new hopes for peace and enlightenment are there. So we ask God's blessing on the most hazardous and dangerous and greatest adventure on which man has ever embarked. And therefore, we set sail.
Good morning on day 2 of passage. Today is like the day that we've been waiting for. It's Friday, and yeah, we've been waiting for this day of sailing. It's supposed to be like 15 knots from the east the whole day, which is like puts us right on course to this beautiful downwind sail. Yeah, this is going great. Other than that, we had a pretty good night of sailing. The wind stayed super consistent. It was a little bit low, and so the head sail was pumping quite a lot because we're running wing on wing. We've been running wing on wing pretty much this whole passage, and when the wind gets low, the head sail pumps a bunch, which is bad for the rigging and bad for my heart. Because we're super remote, I haven't instituted a watch just because there's not really a point. There's nobody out here. And I asked Daniel, I was like, do fishermen fish at night? He's like, yeah, there's fishermen out at night. I'm like, do they sleep on the boat? And he's like, no. So that made me feel a little bit better. If there are any Marcasian, if there's any Marcasian fishermen that have come all the way out here and burned all of that gas to travel like 100 miles from their island, they're not gonna be asleep on their boat. They're gonna be awake and have a watch posted. So he said only sailors sleep, and we know that sailors sleep, so we stay away from sailing boats at night. I was like, honestly, good. Daniel is cooking his first meal on the boat. It's really the first meal you're gonna have. Ooh. We have kind of crazy conditions, so you can see that Daniel's clipped in.
Yes.
When cooking on a sailboat, the wide stance is super necessary because it's pretty crazy out here. I don't know, it's not the craziest I've sailed in, but I think what makes it feel kind of crazy is the fact that we're running wing on wing. And when you're running wing on wing, the boat isn't pressed over, so the boat is rocking back and forth like crazy, which makes living kind of difficult, because when you're living on the lee, when both sails are on one side of the boat's pressed over and like it's getting pushed through waves, and here we kind of bob on the top. The excitement of the morning is that we caught a fish, but then as I was bringing it in, it got off the line. Devastating. I think it was a big mahi too, because we were sailing through a big cloud of birds, and the birds crowd over the mahi while the mahi hunt. And so it was a big mahi. I know it. I feel it. I feel a special connection to the mahi everywhere I go now. Yeah, I like spearing better because I can choose the size of fish and they'd never get away from me. But a hand line's different. A hand line is different. Hello. It is middle of day 2, and I'm trying to remember what I did on my 49-day Pacific Passage, because it's day 2, and I'm like bored. And that's like me with a buddy on the boat, and I have like TV downloaded, which I did not have TV downloaded when I was on my Pacific Passage. And so I've been watching like a couple TV shows that I have downloaded, but even watching those, I'm like kind of tired of watching TV. And I'm trying to remember what I did to stay sane on my 49-day passage. And I think I'm remembering now that I didn't have anything to do and that I was just bored the whole time. But after 49 days alone, it was very easy to be bored, you know? Middle of day 2, I mean, the water, it's called the Pacific Ocean for a reason. It's a very peaceful ocean. We're still running wing on wing because that is the point of sail that gets us on course. And it does mean that the boat's a little rolly because the boat's not pressed over. But can't complain, we're going pretty fast. Little chart plotter update. We are 416 miles from our destination. It's a beautiful day. Fish on! All right, let's see what we got. That is little baby. Oh, we got a tuna. We got a tuna. Woo-hoo! First fish of passage, brought in by Daniel. Well done, my friend. This is a beautiful tuna.
First fish for me ever.
Yeah, first fish for you ever. This is a beautiful tuna. We're gonna be eating very well with this. This is a great fish. I think that we'll do some sashimi, we'll do some sushi. I'm excited. We'll sear some. It's a good size for us. This is gonna be great. As always, yeah, I mean, I'm so grateful, we're so grateful for this fish. Thank you to this fish for giving its life, for helping sustain us on this passage.
Petite prise d'aujourd'hui. Un petit tuna. Et cailloux curry. À chaque jour son aventure, hier c'était le dauphin. Aujourd'hui c'est la prise du tuna. C'est la première fois que je tire un poisson. C'est la première fois que je tire un poisson à la ligne comme ça, là, direct depuis un bateau là.
Okay, good morning on day 3. About 10 minutes ago, I was in the sketchiest situation sailing that I've ever been in. So the mainsail, we were running wing on wing through the night, and then the autopilot malfunctioned, and the mainsail backwinded hard. And the boat was tilted over so far. I mean, that might have been the farthest I've ever felt the boat to heel over. And when we put the tiller hard over, the boat still wasn't correcting itself because it was so backwinded and the wind was so strong. So I had to go up, and it's the first time I've ever had to use this solution, but I had to drop the head sail in order to reduce the windage on the boat. And then by dropping the head sail, we were able to get the boat back on course. So now the Genoa's down, which is a bummer. And the wind is still so strong, I'm not sure if we're gonna be able to put it up, and then I double reefed the main. So the main is now double reefed. But yeah, it was freaky, But we're being rewarded with our efforts. We be a beautiful rainbow over there, so it's not all bad. But yeah, I'm still a little shell-shocked and trying to recover. And I'm gonna go and see if we can get this head sail up. Daniel, how'd you feel about all that whole thing?
Each day he have his adventure. Girlfriend, tuna.
Yeah, we're all alive. There's no harm done. The boat's fine. No sails ripped, so keep on keeping on. Chart plotter update. We are 357 miles away. We made good progress last night. Whoa, cool. All right, well, let's try to get this head sail up and keep going. Clipped in.
What?
I'm clipped in. So that was a great example. I don't know if you saw it on film of why I really don't like wearing a harness, is because I was up there at the bow getting the thing up, and then I realized I needed to use the winch and quickly because the sail was flapping. And then as I try to get to the mast as quick as I need, then the harness was stopping me from being able to do that.
So before you come here,
Yeah.
you go on 5 different boats.
When I was hitchhiking in Mexico, yes.
So it's in all these boats you see a different situation.
Yeah, a lot of different situations. A lot of different types of sailors, a lot of different types of skippers as well. Like there were some skippers who told me to clip in before I even got into the cockpit, that I had to have a harness on and be clipped in, and like even if there was no wind. And then other sailors I was with, they're like, I'm going to bed, you have control of the boat, feel free to break into the whiskey. I'd be like, yo, are you serious? And then like Ben, the last boat I was on, he meant the most to me because he was like a hardcore sailor. Like he didn't have electricity on his boat. Like the only electricity he had on his boat was to like charge his phone that he barely used. And he navigated by like paper charts and a sextant. His sat phone gave him latitude, longitude, and we charted our course on a paper chart. And then every 4 hours or so, we would then mark on the paper chart and see if we needed to change our course. And I was like, oh, you don't need technology. You don't need fancy stuff. You can sail long, far distances with very little. And it's better to sail with very little technology because nothing breaks. If you want to live in an apartment on the water, then yeah, you have all those fancy things. But you're not sailing. You're like living in a fancy house on the water. As things break, I then ask myself, do I need this? And typically the answer is no, I don't need it. Unless like the engine broke and I was like, do I need an engine? It's like, no, it can save me if I put myself in a dangerous position. So I just need to make sure I don't put myself in a dangerous position. Like I shouldn't sail into an atoll.
Why? Oh, okay, yeah.
Because I don't have an engine. What are we doing right now? Sailing into an atoll. We'll see how it goes. It's risky, but I think we can do it. We're not sailing into an atoll that has a really narrow pass. We're sailing into an atoll that has a really large pass so that we can sail. Or maybe get a tow. We'll see. I don't know what's gonna happen in a few days. But that's part of it, you know? Y'all look at the rainbow. Do you see it? Look at the rainbow. Wow. It's so pretty. Oh, so tasty. Oh, yeah.
Chef Luc. Luc le chef. Bon appétit.
Bon appétit, mon amis. Let's eat. I'm excited.
So, how you feel?
Oh, that's so good. This is like one of the first times I think I've cooked tuna, and I overcooked it for sure. Next time, not as long on the heat, but it's still really good.
You didn't overcook.
Do you think it's perfect?
It's perfect.
It's perfect, guys. Do you hear that?
It's perfect. You cannot.
That's a good bite right there.
Il en faut peu pour être heureux, vraiment très peu pour être heureux. Il faut se satisfaire du nécessaire. Un peu de thon, de sauce soja, un peu de lime et des amis. Et tout ça pour un excellent caille-caille.
It is the end of the third day, and we had a super sleepy day today. Yeah, we had that tuna in the morning, and then we were asleep for almost the whole day. The swell has come up a bit today, and so the constant motion of the swell sapped a lot of our energy. Yeah, it's been a sleepy day on Songbird. I'm trying to get Starlink fired up right now. It wouldn't turn on yesterday, and so we'll see if it connects. We'll see if I'm chatting with people. I have some conversations I'd like to have with people on land, just to say hi and check in with my family, stuff like that. But if not, I'll go to bed and try again tomorrow. We've made great progress today. We've had lots of good wind. So yeah, I'll tell you next time something exciting happens.